Hey Future Bears! Once you've confirmed that your plans are to attend UNC, your housing contract will become available. I'm here to walk you through the steps in completing the housing contract. Living on campus is part of the college experience, and UNC has so many options that you can't go wrong. Before you start the housing contract, you'll want to decide what is most important to you. Living with a roommate you already know, living in a residential learning community, also known as an RLC, or living in a specific housing tier. For example, I wanted to live in a community that has the same interests as me, so I checked out the RLCs offered on campus by visiting the housing website. Since I submitted my housing contract early and I requested the Outdoor Pursuits RLC, I was able to be assigned to that RLC. The UNC Housing website is a great resource to research the various housing options. Next, you'll want to take a look at the meal plans. On your housing contract, you'll be asked to choose a meal plan to bundle with your housing preference. Combined meal plans and housing option rates can also be found on the housing site under the Rates tab. Okay, now that you've researched your options, you'll want to log into your Ursa account to start the housing contract. The housing contract link is the first option under the General Information tab. Click on this link and it will ask you to use your same Ursa login to access the housing contract. Let's begin. Once you are logged into the housing contract, you will need to review the contract terms and conditions and the meningitis vaccine disclosure and requirement. Next, you'll be asked, what is your living preference? Roommate, residential learning community, or housing tier? Here, you will need to complete the questions and submit what your first preference is and what is most important to you. Then you will select what your second living preference is. Remember to not select the same thing as your first preference. If you selected a roommate preference, you'll need to list your roommate's legal first and last name, as well as their bare number. Your potential roommate will need to do the same thing on their housing contract. If the request is not mutual, you will not be placed in the same room. If you request an RLC you would like to be a part of, be sure you are willing and able to live in the residence hall where the RLC is located. If you are assigned an RLC, this means you'll live in the hall the RLC is assigned to. Next, if you selected housing tier, you'll be asked to order your housing tier preferences. UNC has 6 housing tiers and you must select them in the order of your preference. For example, Tier 2, Tier 4, Tier 1, etc. Do not select the same Tier 6 times. This will not increase your chances of getting into that tier. Lastly, pick a meal plan to bundle with your housing preferences. UNC dining halls have award-winning chefs and so many food options for students. Once you submit your contract, you'll be asked to make a housing deposit. Your housing contract is not considered complete until the deposit has been made. Room assignments are made based on the date you submitted your contract. UNC Housing and Residential Education can't guarantee any specific housing placements. However, they do their best, and we are excited that you'll be joining the UNC community. If you have any questions, please call our Housing and Residential Education office to talk to our friendly staff. They are here to help you through this process.